It's a balmy Monday morning in Metropolis, and our intrepid financial controller accesses their SAP system and runs a bespoke report to look at critical financial data. Oh no, the program crashed. I'm sure we'll get this fixed. We have the insurance in place, our IT organization, and they'll get to work on this immediately. But the interruption is costly. What if we could prevent this kind of problem from happening in the first place? So, not such a great start to the day after all. Hi, and welcome to this webcast from IntelliCorp titled Zero Production Downtime, where we're going to look at 3 simple ways to use LiveCompare to prevent production failures like we saw in the introduction. The root cause of the problem is how we manage something called dual maintenance. In dual maintenance, we have our production system and supporting it for emergency corrections of development and QAS boxes. This landscape is called the business as usual or production support landscape. Running in parallel, we have another landscape containing its own development and QA systems. This landscape is used to support our project work. Now suppose we make an emergency correction to some object. It starts in business as usual development, migrates to QAS, and finally into production. The life cycle of this change may be measured in a few short hours. Now what if we change the same object in the project stream? As with BAU, it starts off in development, moves to QA, before finally migrating into production. The life cycle of this change may be measured in several months. And unfortunately, we've created a conflict which is difficult to manage, identify, and deal with, largely because of the time differences in which these changes are made, and even more so because of the number of changes that we make, particularly in our project landscapes. Let's see how LiveCompare can help. The first time to use LiveCompare is when we kick off a new project. At that point, we want to make sure that the project stream is a direct copy of production, and that there are no differences between these two environments. LiveCompare can tell us this very quickly. Here's how. Here's a report that LiveCompare produced when comparing my production system to the project development environment. As you can see, there are no differences. That means everything's ready to start the project. Using LiveCompare is very simple. Simply connect and log in through your web browser, and you're presented with a whole series of pre-built analytical templates, and I've got a whole set here that I've copied into my dual workspace project, representing the 3 scenarios that we're going to use in this demo. So when I want to compare project and my production system, I simply point this workflow at our business as usual landscape, and then I point this one at our project, and then I click the green play button, and that's it. Everything else will be done by LiveCompare automatically, producing that report we saw earlier. Meanwhile, back in the BAU landscape, there's an emergency requirement from the business to add a new field to this critical business report. Here's the story so far. We've made a change to an object in our business as usual landscape in response to that emergency enhancement from the business, and that's sitting in our QAS environment. In fact, we've even gone through and actually verified that change. But notice down in the project landscape, we've changed the same object. This is a great time to run LiveCompare, to identify where those changes are to the same objects in both streams, so that we have an opportunity to integrate the emergency correction into our project stream and start the process of avoiding conflicts once we get to production. In LiveCompare, this is really easy to do. I've done a transport comparison. It's just a convenient way to identify a set of objects that we want LiveCompare to analyze. So it's found the main program automatically that makes up that critical business report that we fixed in the emergency correction. And you can see from the highlighting all of the differences between our production environment and the project environment. So the fact that there are differences tell us that we need to look at integrating these changes. So now the story looks like this. We've promoted the emergency correction into production. Because we ran LiveCompare, as we saw earlier, we've also integrated that change into our project landscape. But there's still another opportunity for us to run LiveCompare, just to be sure that when we put the transports from our QAS environment in the project stream into production, there are no other overrides. And that means running LiveCompare here. So in LiveCompare, I'm going to use another of the workflows that will analyze the transports that we're migrating from project into our production environment. So we click the green play button, and let the analysis run. LiveCompare produces a very simple report in this case that shows me which transports are coming from our project landscape and which transports will be overwritten in our business as usual environment. In a clean environment where there are no conflicts, this report will be empty. In summary, LiveCompare is easy to use and includes pre-built analytics to effectively manage a dual maintenance landscape. The mix of interactive experience and reports make it very easy to share the knowledge with IT and business users. And most importantly, using LiveCompare means zero production downtime. To find out how LiveCompare will help you run SAP better, visit our website at www.intellicorp.com. Thanks for watching.